Hey, I'm sure that everyone does know us very, very well, but maybe just as a bit of an introduction before I hand over to Amit to kick off the session. My name is Justin Govender. I'm the Senior Security Engineer for CRS. I handle all of these solutions from a technical aspect of what goes into our distribution stack. It's really, really great to chat to you all again. If you haven't chatted to me in a while, I'm looking forward to catching up with you over the next coming weeks. Okay. Just for some background on who CRS is in ourselves, we are a cybersecurity distributor based in South Africa. We distribute throughout the entirety of Africa. We're also a training center for IBM, Red Hat, SUSE, CompTIA, and Agile through SAFe. Okay, so really appreciate your time this morning. I'm going to hand over to Amit.
But Justin, thank you for that introduction and the handover. Truly appreciate it. I am very, very excited about this morning. And obviously, I think you have well over 100 partners joining from across the continent. So truly an exciting time of growth for SMB Secure, right? And, just looking at SMB Secure and the partner onboardings that we've been doing, we've spent time and we've learned a lot over the last few months. And one of the things that we wanted to accomplish was how do we kind of make it as easy as possible for new ASPs to kind of take on the solution, use it internally, but more than that, Tristan and the audience, it's truly about how do we help you improve your revenue stream for 2026. And one of those aspects, in terms of using technology and using platforms to better your revenue stream is truly the ability to be able to diversify your MSP practice. I know many of you that possibly are online today are coming from a break fix background or a typical tech support background. But as part of an evolution of a business, it's important that you think about revenue generation in a different way. And so that said, we really talk about this concept called cybersecurity compliance. Um, and it would be interesting, Justin, just to kind of get either a show of hands or through a poll, from your audience, with respect to them improving their revenue streams for next year. I'm sure many of them here online want to drive that forward for next year. But I think more importantly, who's not selling cybersecurity compliance today. And that is really a kickstart for finding new angles on how you sell and how you attract clients and how you retain clients going forward in 2026. And cybersecurity compliance, we believe, is probably one of the key secret sources that ASPs across the continent probably needs to embrace. So it will be interesting, towards the end, Justin, if we kind of get a sense of that. But that said, we've worked tremendously hard with the team and partners behind the scenes to really find a way on how we democratize selling cybersecurity compliance. And that effectively means that giving you tools, capabilities, and platforms that help you launch into this new sphere of selling. Now, one of the ways you kind of need to embrace that is certainly by experiencing this in your own kind of business and your own MSP practice. So we're very privileged, we're very proud, and we're very honored to announce to all of the ASPs today that we are launching, introducing effective today, the ASP internal starter pack. This is designed specifically to give you a combined capability and solution, plus an AI platform that will truly help you and your sales teams and your technical teams understand both SMB secure as well as understand cybersecurity compliance better, and to be able to help you pitch it better, sell it better, but also to guide your customers because cybersecurity compliance is about a journey. And so the ASP internal starter pack here will help you take on the solution very, very affordably internally. and really build knowledge based on your external and internal experience of the platform. And we do believe that, a compromise also stops and starts with you. You, as an MSP business or IT business, it's well known to the bad actors out there that if they attack you, they have a launchpad into those end clients through the platforms that you use, through the support that you provide, and through the services that you are giving to that customer as a trusted advisor. So your own MSP business, is a really, really top target. And we're seeing it now over this 2025 year unpack and unfold more and more where vendors and MSPs are being constantly attacked. But taking this to the next level is really about trying to help you um, reach the sales potential of cybersecurity compliance. And it would be quite retarded and a bit slow pace running through CRS University to accomplish this. You might need answers and responses at 11 p.m. at night because you're seeing your client at 8 a.m. and you needed to know how to do something, or you needed to know how to pitch something, or you may need to be, developing some form of a plan with your customer. Maybe it's sitting with them tomorrow morning and helping them or guiding them through an incident response plan. Or maybe you need guidance on developing a so-called BYOD policy. And so we are proud to introduce, as part of the starter pack, you'll be getting a very specialized AI assistant, which we call Compliance Kate. And I'll be showing you some of the potential and capabilities. This is purposely tuned, designed, and tailored for you, our MSP, so that we can give you the right type of responses instantly in any time of day or night. And it sits there as your live assistant to take advantage of, to help you through questions that you might get from your customers, scenarios that you might be grappling with regards to cybersecurity and compliance. Perhaps you need help with developing or establishing some form of a policy around a certain aspects or capability. Or you might need guidance relating to data security regulations. Uh, we have really done an extensive job with regards to South Africa and some of the internationals, and we'll be adding more of the Africa regulations as well over the next few weeks and months. So, Africa partners, do bear with us, but it is coming for you as well. Your local jurisdiction compliance requirements will be in the platform. And then what about frameworks? When you're talking with your customers or if they're asking you about things like NIST or CIS or ISO 27001, the ability to help you understand and respond to those framework compliance type requirements. But there's also a whole host of SMB secure type information. So if you are needing product related information, instead of kind of wanting to ping us, yes, you can always come to us for clarification. But the intent of the Compliance Kate chatbot or AI assistant would be there to help you navigate product information as well. Does SMB Secure do this? Can SMB Secure help with that? Example. And so you can arm your sales teams, your technical teams, and yourself individually um, with great knowledge and insights. And so this is the fundamental component of what we are doing with the ASP internal starter pack. Now, I would like to give a sales angle here on selling cybersecurity compliance to your customers next year and effectively immediately. But truly speaking, we're focusing on 6 pillars that you can use to effectively demonstrate your commitment to your customer as well as sell cybersecurity compliance. We'll be passing a copy of this to you, so don't worry too much of the details. But just to highlight here, it truly is about protecting sensitive client data. It's about maintaining client trust. Preventing reputational damages and losses to your own business is just as important as to your clients. Demonstrating cybersecurity maturity for your own business is extremely vital, ensuring business continuity where possible, and looking after third party risk management. As you get contracted in, um, because there is a lot of pressure now coming on supply chain, you're going to find that a lot more of your customers, big and small, are going to start asking you as an MSP about your own controls, about your own security, about your own practices and policies. And so to win business and to win SLAs, you're going to have to be in a better position to instantly demonstrate cybersecurity compliance of your own business to win some of those SLAs. And so we're going to empower you with all of that capabilities using SMB Secure and leveraging SMB Secure. It's very easy to get started. All you'll have to do is get online and submit your order form. I will show you how to do that shortly. You'll receive technical enablement, but if you don't want that, we also have built a really cool quick start where you can just jump onto the platforms, install the agents, and get going internally. And then for the rest, simply ask Kate. But as you know, we also about personality. So providing in-person capability is just as important. There's CRS University to keep that engagement consistent. We have the WhatsApp channels with all of you to help guide you, answer questions, give you support anytime you need. And of course, you can reach us via phone or email at any point. So we're not just relying on, an impersonal chatbot here. We also have the personality link to it. In order to get started, very easy. We provided you with a link within the data sheet. So you'll simply have to click on this link and it will take you to your order form. And we really truly are trying to mobilize to get you to go beyond break fix services and to get you to start selling cybersecurity compliance to your customers. Pitching it, selling it, packaging it is going to give you more business. And it's the idea is to do it before somebody else enters that customer and has a different type of conversation that you are not having and could be stealing or reneging your customer from you. So truly, truly important to get you going with this. So we believe that as your MSP business, MSPs is a business of trust. You truly are that right arm for IT services to your end customer. And building that trust means that you can move towards a trusted advisor role. And that essentially means it's not only about ensuring that you'll have robust security measures in place internally to protect your client's information, uh, but also that you can provide tools and support to better assess, guide, and help your own clients with their own cybersecurity posture and compliance. And we believe the starter pack is going to help you tremendously to build and get that through. So I'll talk through the packs just now in terms of the licensing, but we have a number of packs that will help you scale and that will help you get started as affordably and kind of efficiently as possible. For those of you or ASPs based in South Africa, it also includes the cyber warranty for your own business. Unfortunately, we can only do this for ASPs domiciled in South Africa because we cannot provide this cover outside of South Africa borders at this point. Uh, but this will include coverage for your own business in extremely affordable manner and ensuring that even if you don't have a cyber insurance in place, but even if you do, it really doesn't matter. This is not trying to replace or displace cyber insurance. This is there to complement it and not only provide you with really good value from a monetary perspective or funding perspective, but also to provide you that peace of mind that you'll have access to specialized services that you might need to tap as and when required. So protecting your own practice is just as important as protecting your customers. What would you get with the starter pack? Well, you're familiar with some of the SMB secure services and capabilities, so I'm not going to really kind of dissect this apart. But you're going to get the full functions of SMB Secure in all its forms, full advanced functions. Plus, of course, for your prospecting, you will be getting unlimited external assessment capabilities to help you prospect to your customers. And then for our South African ASPs, that will include the cyber warranty. So just moving along and talking about the licensing and the packaging. The ASP internal starter pack comes in three package sizes depending on the size of your MSP. So we have a starter pack 5. So if you are 5 users or below, it's a great way to start. And this will provide you full protection internally, plus that AI assistant for all your team to be able to access and to be able to leverage. If you are kind of an ASP that is over 10 users but less than 15, you can simply start at 5. You can upgrade to 10. If you have 8 users, of course, you would get the 10 pack. It's an all-inclusive pack, so you'll get everything within that. And then if you are bigger than 10, no problem. You can go to the 15 pack, and that will cater for up to 15 users. And you can upgrade at any point to this pack. But what is also cool is what if you have like, 18 or 20 users? Well, no problem. You can buy a specialized pack upfront for your account, or you can add licenses to the starter pack beyond 15. So just a licensing clarification, you cannot add licenses on the 5 and 10 packs. You will upgrade to the next tier. But if you're at the 15 pack and you need a few more licenses, then of course you can add licenses to that pack, and you can simply order that through your online form. So let's look at some of the value you're getting here. We've done a really deep dive assessment, and SMB Secure provides tremendous capabilities around controls. We've kind of been conservative here by saying 30 plus, but with some of the assessments we've done, it's well over 50 controls that we can provide your own business in terms of technical and organizational controls. We're providing you with vital pillars for data protection here, and giving you this AI assistant to kind of democratize cybersecurity compliance selling, and really to help empower you and build your expertise in a completely different, seamless way. Um, if you are needing to subscribe to one of the frameworks, being NIST, ISO, CIS, cybersecurity frameworks, then coming soon will also be Compliance Easy, which will allow you to self-assess internally against these frameworks. Remember, built into your starter pack is also the ability to prospect out to external customers with these external scans. You simply can order them as you need. And one of the key elements, both for the warranty as well as for your own protection, is DMARC compliance. As you know, quite recently, Microsoft has just enforced that on the Outlook.com domain, and they're going to bring that into 365 in 2026. Google is already enforcing that. So it is going to be a requirement that if you're going to communicate out to your customers, your own business will need to be DMARC compliant. Now, we don't stop at DMARC. We also allow for inbound encrypted messaging, and that's MTA-STS. And so we also provide that capability. You can test using the SMB Secure website if you have this compliance or not. And if you don't, feel welcome to order it for your business. I know some of you might be trying to do this yourself with 365 or something, manual records management, etc. But just understand this is a fully managed service where it would totally help you just take away that burden and complement your internal capabilities. So we provide explanations here on the sheet for you about what is cybersecurity compliance, what is compliance kit for ASP and how it'll help you, and what's included. And as you can see here, it's a tremendous capability of licenses that will give you tremendous value. And so I know many of you are thinking or asking about what this pricing would be. Because we have partners from across the jurisdictions here, What we would do is following this session is CRS would be sending out your data sheet to have a look at together with your pricing as well as the new rate cards effective today for the remainder of the year that you can use and leverage, as well as giving you a copy of a quick start guide. And the quick start guide, once you order your kit, will help guide you through each component or element in a very simple way of what you need to do. So for your PC encryption and access controls, go to that platform, do this. For your risk assessments, go to that platform, do that. For the awareness training and exposed data monitoring, go to this platform and get this going. For PDF email encryption, download the application, install it, and it's your choice what you choose to use or not, but you're getting it all inclusive, including the SendGuard 365 Lite capability. Um, and for your customers, obviously you can sell compliance toolkits, but for yourself internally, you'll get the AI assistant. For the South African customers, you're also getting the warranty. And like I said, we will work diligently to try and see if we can expand that outside of the South African jurisdiction. And for those of you that need it or want it, test your DMARC or MTASTS and essentially, order the DMARC service for yourself internally. Protecting your own email is just as important as protecting your customers. We're also pleased to let you know and announce a brand new mailbox that we've set up, which will basically be monitored, which is the new ASP support mailbox. Any help you need, rather than communicating with anybody individually, please mail the ASP support mailbox, and we have a team that will sit behind that will basically respond to you and be as diligent as possible. We've also provided guidance for your first order so that you know how to use the order form, and it's very straightforward and simple. So this guide will be shared by CRS as well. So while I switch over to the next platform, I'll just quickly ask you to kind of start gathering your questions. But Tristan, maybe you just want to kind of step in and kind of share any insights with the audience while I switch over. Yes, so I think you've got some polls going on your teams there. If you can continue and just kind of expose some of those polls, it'll be really fantastic. What I'm going to do is just wanting to show you first and foremost the order form. So when you click on the link, it will be bringing you to the SMBsecure order form, request form online. You would simply be clicking on that form and it will be taking you or loading up the specialized automation form that we have. I must stress that the information and how you put your information is extremely important because there's automations that run behind it. So please do be diligent. The first section is all your details. It's not your customer's details. You complete that. You'd always be able to put in when you want the subscription to start. So don't feel shy. If you want to place an order today, but only order for the 1st of November, no problem. And the system will queue that up. And we have various requests that you can kind of choose. And for the starter pack, you would basically be clicking the starter pack request here. And obviously, you would just state your jurisdiction, whether you're in South Africa or international, and the right starter pack would be ordered for you internally. And based on that, really simple. Behind that, the team will take care of all of the provisioning and the fulfillment, and you'll get a notification that we are ready to go. From that point, use the quick start and get it going. So hopefully that's streamlined and straightforward for you. I'm now going to switch over to the main part, which is really just this compliance gate for ASP, which is really the engine and the heartbeat of what we're trying to kind of position today. So this would basically be your assistant that you and your entire team will have access to at any point in time. And it's designed and really tailored and purposefully built to help guide you through a lot of things. If you have sales questions, if you have product questions, if you have compliance questions, it's there to kind of guide you. I'm gonna just start off maybe with one common question, that I get from our partners when we talk about cybersecurity compliance, and that is, how do we sell cyber security compliance? Okay, so you can post your questions within the chatbot here. And of course, Kate sits as your real-time assessment or assistant and should be able to, provide you with all of that kind of responses. So a common sales question that we get. And it really is efficient, streamlined, tells you how to go about it and what you need to do. And this is what you need to do to be able to sell cybersecurity compliance. Another sales type questions. What are the key features of SMB Secure? Okay, so you just want the silver bullet so that you can pitch it to your customer tomorrow morning. Ask Kate, and of course, she'll come back with the right responses. And now you've got the salient features that you can pitch. Our intention is not to, give you a full kind of, 30-page document here, but just to be as concise and as precise as possible, and hopefully, go from there. So, if you can, maybe let's get some live audience engagement quickly before we round up here. Unmute and maybe just ask your question to me, and I'll ask Kate, and hopefully she can answer it. If there's any questions, continue, unmute, and Shifa, just allow for unmute there, and then ask the question, and I'll ask Kate. Let's see how she responds.
So we do have one question from, okay, I'm not sure how to pronounce your name, so I'm not going to try, but how do you prove to a client that all their laptops are encrypted and compliant?
Okay, let's ask it the way that person asked it. How do you prove to a client
that all their laptops are encrypted and compliant?
Encrypted, oops. And you said and compliant, hey?
Yeah. Correct.
Okay, let's ask Kate. And there we go. As you know, SMBsecure is underpinned by MITREATT&CK, so it references the platform as well. And here we go as a pricey. Okay, so to prove to a client that all your laptops are encrypted, we have the compliance report. We have encryption verification on the platform itself. There's, of course, the access control mechanisms there with MFA. There's the risk responders. And then there's obviously audit-ready records sitting on the back of the platform. But your main one is the compliance report, and that will give you that audit trail. And, Kate goes on, right? Would you like more details on any specific aspect of this process? I know a common one that normally comes through is risk responders, people not understanding it or something like that, So, what are risk responders? Okay, here we go. It's an automated sentinel, and this is what it's able to do. Let it just get its text loaded here.
Sorry, Amit, on that same topic, someone did ask about risk responders and how they work, but an additional question to that is how to explain risk responders to a non-technical client.
Okay, so let's ask it. How do we explain risk responders to a non-technical client? So I'm asking it the way your partners are asking it, Kashifa. So, it's exactly the way they're going to type these things.
Yes.
All right. So here we go. So it will help your team, prepare for 8 o'clock meeting. And it's like when you're talking to your customer or when you're sitting with them, even pull this up on your phone. It's mobile friendly. Explaining risk responders to a non-technical client. Here's a straightforward way to explain it. Automated protection. That's what it means. Customizable responses, that's what it means. Proactive security, that's what it means. Peace of mind, compliance support, and then obviously by focusing on these simple concepts to a non-technical person, you can articulate the value. Would you like more tips on communicating technical concepts to clients? I'm just going to be a typical user and say, yes, let's see what it does. Here we go. And it continues on and it tells you from a sales perspective, you know, what you need to do. So your sales team is really getting coached here. you know, Use analogies, so explain things where they can kind of associate it to something happening. Focus on the benefits, avoid jargon, use visual aids, go draw pictures, use a whiteboard, etc. So they can really get the concept of what you're trying to sell. Tell a story, be patient and open, summarize key points, and relate to their specific industry. If they were financial services or manufacturing, find a story or a breach that happened to somebody within that industry, etc. So really cool. Just as we're wrapping up, I know we're reaching the end of the session. Any other questions? Anybody brave enough to unmute and ask?
Morning, Ahmed. Craig here.
Hi, Craig.
I have
Good
a
morning.
question.
Mm-hmm.
Question is, how do I use MFA as a selling point when pitching SMBsecure?
Okay. So how do I use MFA as a selling point and pitching? Did you say when pitching SMB
Yeah,
Secure?
when pitching SMBsecure.
Okay, so let's ask Kate that. Okay. All right. So, and Craig, just to clarify, it's well tuned, well designed. Just remember, it's got all of the guardrails built into it. It doesn't go out scouring the internet for these answers. It's purposely trained. It doesn't take opinions and develop them into fact. This is exactly what we train the bot on and what the team feeds into the bot. So the team behind the scenes really does a great job here. So Craig, here's your answer. All right. So when pitching SMB Secure, use MFA as a selling point, right? And here's how you can emphasize it to enhance security, protect against breaches, provide compliance support there, user friendliness implementation on how we're doing it, centralized management of that MFA, and the versatility of that MSA, right? So, and use it to build trust. By focusing on these aspects, you can effectively position MFA as a critical component of SMBsecure's offering, showcasing its importance in safeguarding business operations and ensuring compliance. And Kate doesn't stop there for you, Craig. Would you like more details on any specific features of MFA? And I'm going to be your typical sales user here and say, yes, tell me what I need to do. Boom. And she'll find all of the right answers. And just remember, it's purposely tailored for what SMB Secure can do and how it delivers it. Whilst you unmuted there, Craig, I'm sure
Yes.
you, in dealing with your customers, do you get any compliance type questions or framework type questions? I mean, if I have to ask you as an MSP, right? I mean, what kind of grapples you about, cybersecurity compliance? Or how do we empower you about this? What kind of question would you be asked by a
Well,
customer typically?
well, the problem is, as an MSP, I tend to stay away from areas I don't know or I'm not
Th-
an expert in.
Right,
So which limits my scope. But having
right.
something like this enables me to get the information quite easily, it seems.
So let's
To
take a scenario, right? You're sitting with a customer at their office and you're trying to now, you know, obviously sell your SLA, which will include SMB Secure, but you're trying to position to them this whole story about cybersecurity compliance, etc. Now, let's assume, I know you are based in South Africa. Let's assume you're sitting with a very small financial services providers. They are brokers or something, right? Um,
okay.
and so you're sitting with them and you just don't know these things. And, obviously they're financial services, right? Uh, so, let's try and arm you with some sales positioning, okay? So what regulation is required for a small, well, it doesn't have to be small, for a South African
FSP.
FSP. Okay, let's try and ask Kate, and maybe she will guide you. Okay, and obviously through this now, your team becomes, oh, there we go. It's found exactly what you need, right? So they need to comply with POPI. They need to comply with, so POPI is our data protection law in South Africa, the Joint Standard 1 of 2023, the Joint Standard 2 of 2024. So it gives you a bit of a précis, and it will ask you if you need more information. Not, but Craig, you probably now not sure about what is this thing called Joint Standard 2, you know?
Yes.
So tell me more about Joint Standard 2. Okay. And then you can dig deeper. So there we go. It's exactly what it needs, how you do it, what's the key requirements. And imagine the power of having this kind of conversation where it's saying MITREATT&CK there, correct? That's just the platform underneath SMBsecure. So you can take it unanimously. SMBsecure and MITREATT&CK are synonymous, right? And if you have any questions relating to how we can help you assist, then ask further. So let's ask it, how can SMBsecure help with joint standard compliance? Okay, it will find all the nuts and bolts and the key elements. Again, we're not trying to flood you with too much stuff, giving you just enough so that you can, either build on that knowledge base, Craig, or, pick up salient points that you can pitch to your customers or talk through them about. And hopefully this will empower your team. Do you have any team member joining today also, Craig? Any team member from your side?
Yes, I do.
Let's do that. So you've got a team member, right? So I want to try and put myself in your shoes. So you an MSP, you own an MSP, you've got the stuff. Let's unmute one of your team members if they can unmute, and let's put them on the spot, right? So you've got a salesperson there. Unmute and let's have him now. He's seeing this thing for the first time.
Yeah.
He doesn't really know what to do or how to go about it. So let's unmute him. Jean, do you have any question for Kate from a sales perspective on how you think, you'd engage as a salesperson?
There we go.
Okay.
Okay, I've managed to unmute. Can you hear me? Can you hear me,
Yeah,
Ahmed?
we hear you fine. Yep.
I'm trying to think. I mean, learning about the joint standard specifically. There's a lot of people that, even though they are financial institutions and know about the joint standard, it's as if they don't care. They don't worry. They don't know that they need to comply. How do I demonstrate the urgency of that to them?
Okay. So we can ask it what's the consequences or something, but
Yes. Yes.
Well, let's ask
What
it
is
in
the
a really
consequences
simplest.
of
Well, let's not use technical words. Let's answer it in a really simple way. What if my client does not comply with joint standard 2, as an example?
Yes. Thank you.
Okay. So I phrased it really simply. I don't want to, even put in words like consequences and things. And let's see. So there we go. It's found some stuff already specific to the regulation. Okay, so boom. What's the impacts? Regulatory penalties, so they can face fines from the regulator, increased cyber risk, reputational damage, operational downtime, legal liabilities. And John, if you just take these bolded parts, that's your sales pitch, right?
Yes.
And here's your value proposition. How can SMBsecure help? And that's exactly it. And you can drill more and you can ask more, etc., etc.
Yeah, and I can build this into the demo and literally have a presentation ready for the client.
Correct. Just remember, this is for your use. So you would keep this for your use to empower yourself. And, from not knowing anything about compliance or cybersecurity compliance, this assistant is there to help now guide you through. And you will only get this assistant by taking the starter pack. So, Craig, you will need to order the starter pack internally in order to get access to this.
Because this is the
Okay.
problem that we have with most of the clients is a lot of them are financial, but it's as if they're either not worried or don't care or don't even know about having to be compliant.
Correct.
It,
So you don't have to
it's the weirdest
worry
thing.
about, 11 o'clock at night wondering how you're going to pitch this and trying to get in touch with us. You
Yes.
can ask Kate, and for your 8 o'clock meeting, you're ready and you've got all of the salience points to build your proposal or your pitch deck with that customer.
Yeah, I've already
Anyone from Africa online that can unmute that might have a question from Africa for us that I can ask to Kate as we wrap up here?
Amit, we do have a question from Diraj as well.
Okay. You can unmute and ask. Yeah.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah,
Yes,
okay.
Diraj, we hear you.
Tristan, hi, Amit. How you guys doing?
Great.
Okay, cool. In fact, yeah, I understand your pain points because, when we deal with certain clients, again, they just focus purely on their business, but they're not looking at the compliance aspect of it, or they're completely unaware, as the gentleman alluded to earlier. But one of my questions is when you're talking about supply chain, we touched on that in terms of a supply chain to an end user. Let's pose a question to compliance, Kate, and ask her how, from an end user perspective, he poses that to me now. I'm selling the solution to him, and he says, okay, you're selling me this product where we're covering the supply chain aspect, where my vendors that supply to me, I want to obviously look into them a bit. But what is the legalities of that, for me to, and how does that affect my business? And how does the SMB secure product actually correlate that data and the sources of it? And is it legal?
Very good points.
Because they don't want, obviously, that vendor not to say, but how did you get this information of me, to say that, okay, I don't have DMARC, or I don't have this, and that's why you don't want to do business with me anymore. Just something like that.
Sure. So I think what's important for your customer to understand is, and I think where you're going with this, is what they don't understand they need some form of a supply chain policy or incident response plan or something, because
Yes.
that's how they prove. So let's ask Kate that first question, and we build based on that, right? So, can you help me with a supply chain policy? And let's see if there's anything in there. Okay, this is what a supply chain policy would look like, or need as its critical elements. So let it just finish here. All right. So what do you need to take care of? Well, risk assessment. Can SMBsecure do risk assessment? We absolutely can, because understanding risk, both internally and with third-party vendors, is just as important. And remember, you have the ability to do external scans using SMBsecure, so we can actually vet that third party. We have the ability to do a DMARC check on a domain using the SMBsecure website, so they can check the risk that they are carrying if their supplier or third-party vendor does not have these protocols in place, because it puts a risk on them for business email compromise. Supplier selection and due diligence. Okay, there's contractual obligations, monitoring and auditing that they might need there, incident response and communication, training and awareness, continuous improvement. So you've got the salient points. And so now here's your this thing, right? How can SMBsecure or BHSecure help? Okay, and so you can ask with, any one of those aspects, or you can ask generically. And, Kate will help build that entire map for you that you can start building upon. So hopefully that answers that question. I've obviously mentioned DMARC. I know many people, still don't understand, or even, appreciate the value of something like DMARC. Tell me how DMARC can help. Generic. I'm not even being specific here, right? So it'll explain what DMARC is, how it's used, and what are the salient points around implementing something like DMARC. Okay, so obviously you can build upon the scenario, and as you can see, it's quite real time, Diraj. It's getting you responses. It's as responsive, but it's also precise and concise. And I think that's the value here, Nobody
Yeah.
wants to digest, a 50-page white paper just to pitch something to your customer. And that's normally what we see with many vendors. We
Mm.
tend to, over-inform. Yes, it's important to learn, but in a busy day, we know small MSPs are challenged fighting fires. You've only got so many hours, and you're juggling 30 other things. You want to be quick, fast, and efficient. And this is what compliance Kate for ASP or MSP is designed to do for you.
Yeah. It also boils down to the client themselves. They themselves are not technically inclined. So having it, as I said, pinpoint, giving them a quick, getting to the point quickly enough is going to obviously make it, you're not bombarding them with technical aspects and technical terms.
Absolutely. And Kate's been tuned for that. But what's also nice, if you can, you be specific to Kate and say, I want this in a non-technical explanation.
Mm.
And she will assemble the technical information and provide that in a non-technical way so that you can almost read that out over the phone verbatim to your customer or on a
Mm.
Teams call. And
Mm.
and that's the value of this. It sits for you and your team as a real aid to empower you. Bow with questions, with scenarios. Ask your customer might have a very difficult scenario regarding poppy, the
Mm.
poppy law in South Africa, which is still required,
Mm.
and you just don't know how to answer it. Or can they do that? Are they allowed to do that? Help them through those scenarios here as well.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Thank you.
Right? No worries. Kashifa, back to you. Any other questions or hands up?
There is two. So Jean wanted to know if you could actually take just the bowl parts and ask Kate about those bullet points in specific, and she'll elaborate on those as well.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So as you can see, it's leading on, and you can just say, tell me more about, how it helps build trust or support compliance. And of course, it's concept and context aware. So it knows that it will be asking the question relating to what you just asked as well. So yes, the answer is yes.
And then another one is, what are the key points of being compliant?
Mm. Compliant to what? That's such a broad question, but anyway, we'll try. What are the
Key points of being compliant.
Okay, let's see how good she does. All right, so let it just complete you. Okay, so let's see what it decided to tell you about the key points of being compliant. Okay, you must understand regulations, of course, to your jurisdiction. It's given some examples there. Data protection is a fundamental for compliance, risk management, access control, incident response, employee training, monitoring and auditing, documentation and reporting, vendor management, which Dheeraj, I think, also posed the question previously, and continuous improvement. By focusing on these things, obviously, you'll drive your way forward. And if you want any specific detailed guidance on any specific aspects of that compliance, then you ask it. So that's what it's done. I think it's a pretty decent response.
And then we have
Anything else?
one more question from Craig. Craig, you can go ahead.
I'm sorry, I know you pressed for time. Just a quick question. You mentioned African frameworks might be coming later. Is there a roadmap for that? And will that mean then that I can use this for my clients up in Africa?
Oh, yes, absolutely. There is a roadmap, and the team will be working, I will say, probably effective from probably this month already. We will be engaging with CRS to just identify the key jurisdictions initially on where the partners are based and which partners would require. So if there are partners from Africa joining on this, please do reach out to CRS and put your hands up in terms of your jurisdictions and your requirements there, and we build that in. So it's a constant evolution, correct? This is not a kind of yeah, it is, and it just kind of is there. We are, and the team behind this is constantly working and tuning and improving this. So we won't stop. And the reality is, as more comes, more will be put in. But to answer your question specifically regarding Africa, uh, I think probably next in line on our short-term roadmap is probably things or countries like I think SADC regions are important for us. So our neighbors like Botswana, Namibia, Zimbabwe, and of course places like Kenya, Nigeria, etc., that have got very established regulations will come next in the roadmap. I don't want to commit to a timeline, Craig, but I want to say a lot of it is going to be added from now until end of the year and beyond.
Thank you, Amit.
Okay, great. I'm conscious that we are over time. Feel free to engage with CRS. Feel free to engage with us about this. But hopefully you have found this to be insightful, powerful, and useful. And I think just to close off here, I think CRS has posed a poll there with regards to, taking the starter kit. What do you guys think of it? When you get your rate card before the end of this week from CRS, you would see a strong response to this, or stronger, when you really see how attractively affordable it is. It really is inexpensive for a small MSP to get going. So I'm very pleased to see on the poll that almost 70% of you are committing to say, yeah, you'll take the starter pack. So that is phenomenal response. We truly appreciate it. And we'll reach out to you personally as well just to follow up. But effective today, starter pack for ASP internal use is now available, and you can procure it. Just go onto the link, order it, and we'll start fulfilling it. So get your own business secure, get your own business sorted out. It starts with you. When you can demonstrate that compliance to your customer, you're in such a better footing to say, yeah, we use it. This is how we're using it. This is what we do. And now you've got an engine behind you as well to help guide your technical team, your SE team, your pre-sales and sales teams in order to sell and pitch all of this stuff as well. Tailored for SMBsecure, of course. All right, I'll hand back to Kashifa and Dustin just to do the close now. And thank you for your time and the opportunity.
Thanks for that, Amit. Really appreciate it. So, yes, we will get a copy of the presentation. The recording will also be posted, and please keep an eye out for another session to come, especially for the South African organizations. I really appreciate it. And you will note that on the actual take-on form, as Amit mentioned, it is live on the take-on form if you want to sign up for that starter pack. Okay. Please feel free to reach out to us if there is anything. Okay, and we will be sharing the rate cards within this week. Okay, so just bear with us, and we definitely very excited to get going on this, and we will share the updated rate cards with all of that costing. So don't be worried if you did not hear it. Okay, recording, presentation, and we will share the rate cards. Thanks everyone. Really appreciate it. Have a great week further.